Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to Kitchen Talk, and I'm your host, Leanne Moore. And I promise you that this show is going to be great. We're going to have inspiring discussions about real estate, finance, lifestyle, and more. But what I want to know is how is everybody doing out there? We're in a very difficult time right now, and I want to know how you're doing. So if you want to put your comments below, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what's on your mind. As for me, I feel like uh, I'm in the twilight zone. So it's just I'm in one of those episodes. I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up, and when I wake up, I'm wearing one of these. Okay, like most of you. And someone reminded me, no, it's not a Twilight Zone. You're in a Stephen King movie. So it's really, really hard. But I wanted to do this show. I wanted to provide uh, value to the information that we provide, and also we want to be encouraging and uplifting. So we're going to be here 10 a.m. Pacific time every Thursday. Every week we're going to have a different guest. We have some great guests this week. We have Diana Dykes, mortgage specialist in Henderson, Nevada. We have Jeffrey Mermilliod with 2020 Financial Advisors. And we have the pastor of Bethel AME of Perris, Reverend Kenny Baker. So without further ado, I want to read and see what's going on. We have Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Says, Leanne, I have PT tomorrow, 10 a.m. We'll be able to see you after. Wonderful. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And let's see who else. We have the First Lady of First AME Pasadena, Sister Melinda Campbell. Hello, Melinda. Thank you. Thank you very much. And so we just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And anything you want to say, this is an interactive show. So we like your comments. If we can't get to your comments right away, then we will, catch it later in the show. But as for me, I am 24 years in real estate with impressive properties, USA in Pasadena. And I'm also 14 years with Elite Realty, well, as a realtor with Elite Realty in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you have any real estate needs, questions, feel free to put your comments on my Facebook page, and I'll definitely reach out to you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first guest, which is going to be Diana Dykes. She's a mortgage specialist in Henderson, Nevada, and she's going to come on the show and tell you some great things and also some disappointing things about the mortgage industry.
Can you hear me, Leanne? Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well this morning. We're going to talk about some of the things that's happening in the mortgage industry and why you should do what you should do now and why you shouldn't do what you should do now. Okay. The first step is that we're going to pray for 82,000 people have lost their life in America. Over 280,000 people have lost their life globally. There's 22,000 people out of work right now. I want to remind you, because people are like, is this a good time to buy? Yes. Is this a good time to refinance? Absolutely. Rates are down. Should I sell my house? If you need to put food on your table. It is all these questions that are coming to me daily. I'm on compliance calls till midnight. I've been doing this over 25 years, and this is really a horrific time, but this is not a real estate or mortgage crisis. This is a pandemic crisis. But let me tell you how it does affect the mortgage industry. When there is a problem, there are people taking forbearance like it's candy. Like people are getting candy as a 6-year-old in a candy store. If you're still working, do not take that forbearance, because it's going to look like a foreclosure when you go to get ready to refinance or purchase another home. They're going to put you on the back burner and say, nope, you took the forbearance. If you're out of work and you need to take it to put food on your table. However, if you're working, don't take the forbearance, keep paying it. All you're doing is putting a crisis into the mortgage industry, because 3 months is killing mortgage lenders, 3 months without making payments. So if you're working, don't take the forbearance. If you're not working, sure, they tell you it's not going to go on your credit report. However, it will be what's called a fraud check when lenders, and anytime you go to buy a car or anything, they're going to show that forbearance. Again, if you need it, take it. If you don't need it, don't take it. So what's happening if you have equity in your home? This is a great time to refinance. This is a great time to sell your home, survive your equity, or take a refinance and get equity. If you feel that your jobs are gone and you have equity, get with Leanne, put your house on the market and sell it, because that's equity that you're going to be able to live on. You might have to downscale. This is great. Equity is here now. We don't know if it's going to be around, so this is a great time to get the equity. Refinance. If you're sitting on equity now and you're still working, please, it's like taking that money and taking it and throwing it in the grave 6 feet under with COVID, okay? Take that equity, use it if you're working. A lot of people are confused about, you could use a lot of things. If you're 62 of age, take a reverse mortgage. We're also specialized in reverse mortgage. We're doing 3 currently this week where they're 62, they have equity in their home, they're tired of this, they will not have a mortgage for life, they had enough equity. We got one gentleman $150,000, and then next year we're going to get him $45,000, and he does not have a payment for life. These are a good thing. I have my own mother in a reverse mortgage, my own mother, and I can't wait till I'm 62. I'm putting my house in a reverse mortgage. You could see my background. I love Las Vegas. We are in a pandemic. We are not in a mortgage crisis, okay? So mortgage COVID-19 changes. This is what's going to happen, is that basically when you go to get a loan, people were at the closing table and they felt, wow, I'm at the closing table, I'm done. They are verifying your employment 3 times. Even though it says active, you're going to go back to work. If you're in furlough, they will not close your loan. They will not close your loan. You must be back at work, okay? So please be patient. Don't stop looking. Don't stop getting pre-qualified. Come on in. I'm a mortgage specialist. We can help you. Leanne can find beautiful houses. But you have to, what should you do now? Yeah, buy now. Buy now. Don't wait. If you're working, this is a great time. We're getting people closing costs, like they're giving out forbearance. People are giving closing costs out like, woo, I'll give you $7,000 in closing costs. I need to get this house sold. You're working. Remember, 22 million people are out of work. So mind you, just take a breath. If you're working, this is a wonderful time to refinance your home, get in a reverse mortgage if you're 62, and do a purchase. And if you have to sell it. And you want to move up and you're working, people are still buying. Diana, has the equity gone down? No. Equities have not been forced yet. The programs are different. You have, instead of a 580 FICO score, you now have to have a 640 in most cases. Most cases you have to have a 640. Is there down payment programs out there? Most lenders are shutting it down because they feel those are the people in the lower income that are going to get forbearance. We have those programs, and that is assistance. You still have to have some money in the game. We teach a class. We're going to have one in Henderson, actually Las Vegas. And I'm an educator, a HUD specialist educator for first-time home buyers as well. The programs that are gone are the high jumbo loans, the non-QM, the bank statement, some of our doctor loans. They will come back, but we have to be patient. What's the low-hanging fruit for people? First-time home buyers. First-time home buyers. You have a great opportunity. If you're an essential worker and you're working, get pre-qualified, stop paying someone's rent, and make it happen. My information, you can give me a call at 702-208-6600. 6381. I'll repeat it, 702-208-6381. It's affecting the bigger companies because a lot of those people are taking forbearance. So please be patient. Work with educated people that are on this show today to make it happen for you. I want to thank you. This is Diana Dykes, the mortgage specialist, and I want to thank you for today. Thank you, Leanne. This is wonderful. Thank you for having me on your show. Can't hear you. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, Leanne, but there you go. There you go. Go ahead.
My question was, there's a lot of buyers, potential buyers out there that want to buy, that want to know, is it a good time to buy, with the mortgage companies? I mean,
absolutely.
Well, costs,
pick your mortgage company. Okay. Of course, I'm here for you.
That's right.
But pick educated ones. If you're going to like the Quicken loans or stuff like that, the larger ones, it's going to take a lot longer. Right. They're still stable. They're still good, but pick. Honestly, some of the smaller companies are doing a much better job. They're not affected because they don't have a lot of forbearance going on in their pipeline. Makes sense? Yeah.
Quickly, can you talk about first-time home buyer programs? Now,
sure.
There are a lot of people out there that are looking to buy. Now, we know we have to get through COVID. What can they do now to prepare to buy?
Good question. Yeah, good question. What you can do now is we have what's called Home is Possible. We have USDA rule and CalHFA. CalHFA is all through California. You could get a silent second to help you, especially in this market. And then Home is Possible, that is another second that's forgivable in 3 years. And then USD rule is like rural housing in rural areas. But there's some good money. There's some assistance out there. Remember, it's assistance. You still have to have money in the game, okay? But they are out there, but a lot of lenders are getting out of those programs. We still have them.
Well, my suggestion is that I want people to prepare their credit, and we're going to talk about that first tip during the show. Prepare your credit, get your mindset together, because we're complete with COVID. That could be a year. We don't know how long it's going to be, but have a mindset of wanting to buy. I, just did a closing. We actually did a final walkthrough. That's after you close the house, the buyer goes through to make sure the house is still good. And we did that on Zoom. So that's
I hear that, Leanne. I had my bat suit on yesterday, all masked up, masked up and everything, but what is normal? There's a new normal. People aren't going to be hugging. People are going to be, with their masks on. That's okay. But once you go in your home, that's your domain. But if you're renting, that people might need the money and they may tell you, you know what? You got 2 weeks to get out of my house. This is my house. Buy your own house, okay? Grab a pen, tell a friend, get into a home. Stop. Your backyard is your balcony, and you're worried about that. Your first time home buyer home might not be your dream home, but come on now. And interest rates are low, but you're paying how much? If you're paying in a very like you're paying, how much rent are you paying in interest rate right now? 100%.
Right.
100%.
What is the
Good morning, Shanae. Good morning. Oh, look, very people coming on. Hi, good morning.
Yes, this is Shanae, Diana's daughter. Hello. Thank you for watching.
Hi, realtor in San Francisco. They've been quarantined down. She can ask them questions. Yes, very good.
And let's look at a few comments. We have one from Ade. Ade is in Nigeria. Thanks, Ade, for checking in. And we'll really appreciate you all watching. And our next one is good morning, Leanne from Tracy White. Hi. And Grizel. She said she couldn't hear me, but that was early. I think our mic is working now.
Yeah.
So, what is the interest rate now?
Well, interest rate depends on, and we never say interest rates. You know, when I was doing my radio show, we never talk about interest rate because it depends what you need, what program, what's your FICO score, how much are you putting down. When they say that, I said, I until I know what your financial status quo is, I can't give you an interest rate. Are the rates a little bit low? I can give you a general thing. Yes. If you have a high FICO score, you're in the money. If you have a low FICO score, you're going to pay. Bottom line. Yeah.
Okay, last question. What would you suggest a seller to do if they want to refinance their home? I know before COVID, it was successful. Would it be something that they would want to think about right now?
If they don't want to sell or they feel the market and they have equity and they want to refinance it, sure. I mean, right now, if they're working and they want to refinance their home, they should refinance. I mean, take your money out. You know, this is
Good. Let them know how to reach you. I have your information at the bottom. So,
all right.
you know,
Okay. It was great. This is wonderful, Leanne. I know you're going to be very successful with your show. We're going to be doing more of these. Leanne is an excellent real estate agent. I've closed a few deals with her, and she is on point. So give us a call. This is Diana, the mortgage specialist, at 702-208-6381. And I'm global. I can do a lot of the Western states, but I can pretty much do loans everywhere. So whoever's listening, give me a call and I'll make it happen for you. And Viva Las Vegas. We cannot wait till our strip opens back up.
yes, and I'm doing a show relatively soon. I mean, to see that strip is just
in Vegas. Next show is in Vegas, huh?
Yeah. But to see that strip, it's a ghost town.
It is.
I went to Vegas. My mom and I were in Vegas on 9/11 that morning. It was like it is now, but it was open. But
yeah,
it is a sight to see. So one of these shows, I'll probably either do a remote or I'll have a video and show how the city is really hurt, as well as
it's hurting. Yeah, we're going to pray for all those families, but we're here to help you and give you guidance financially.
That's right. Well, if anyone has any comments for Diana Dykes, you give it to us right now. If you're just joining us, it's Kitchen Talk with your host, Leanne Moore. And again, this is an interactive talk show. We want to be here for you every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember that, you guys. We're going to have some great things on the show. And Diana, you're going to hang tight with us?
Sure. If anybody has questions, I'm here throughout the show while the other guests speak.
Sorry about that. So yeah, thank you, Diana, for that information. Our next guest is coming up is going to be Jeffrey. Jeffrey is with 2020 Financial Advisors, and he's very knowledgeable about the financial arena. Those of you who have 401ks, you have IRAs, you want to talk about the economy in terms of what you should be doing with your money right now. This is the time to put your comments up so we can share your comments and Jeffrey can answer them. So if you guys can give us your comments, and remember, like, share, and once this goes to replay, subscribe and ring the bell so we can give you information on a weekly basis of our upcoming shows. So without further ado, I'm going to have Jeffrey come on, and he's going to talk a little bit about what he has to offer you. Thank you. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? Uh-oh, sorry, I keep doing that. Sorry. Now we can hear you. Okay.
Excellent. Well, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to come on and say a few things and tell everybody to keep your head up. I know there's a lot of things going on in the country and it's got a lot of people down, but let's stick with the basics on this one. This is not a 2009 type event. This pandemic event, and more importantly, the government reaction to it, it was not in keeping with the actual fundamentals of the underlying economy. So the number one thing everyone has to remember when we're talking about finances is you have to remove emotions from your financial decisions. A lot of people make a lot of bad decisions when they make decisions based on their emotions. And unfortunately, When something like what happens right now in the markets, it sent a lot of people running to their screens to hit the sell button, which was really, in most cases, not what you should be doing at all. You shouldn't be making emotional decisions. So just to kind of tell us where we were on the Dow Jones as like a kind of a litmus test for investing. We hit the peak on the Dow Jones, the highest it's ever been, on the 12th of February of this year. We were at 29,551 on the close. And then COVID happened and people started selling like mad. Now, there are some fundamentals that would drive the market down. There's a lot of companies that their sales are pretty bad right now. There's a lot of companies that are not doing well financially. But this is, I hope, temporary pain. So we hit a trough on March 23rd, only 5 or 6 weeks after we hit the peak. We hit a trough of the market going down. It went down to 18,591, and that was 37% down from the peak. Now, unfortunately, there are some people that sold at that time because they were freaking out. They thought that the market was going to continue to go down. But since then, today, the market is at about 23,172, which is only 22% down from the peak. Okay, now 22% is not great if you're down 22%, but 22% down is a lot better than 37% down. And if people would have sold during that time, then they would have been doing what's called locking in a loss. So just kind of some fundamentals. There's a lot of people sitting at home. They're not working or not working as much as maybe they used to. They're not going out and going to movie theaters or going to events that are taking a lot of time for entertainment, et cetera. So I always say this is a good time to kind of re-examine your own finances. So, some of the basic things that I like to tell people that everybody should be doing is, number one, you need to know what your budget is. And your budget should be in writing. You should understand how much money it takes for you to pay your bills monthly. And the second part of that I think people have more time to do right now is to attack your budget. You look at what you're spending money on and say, if you're spending $200 a month on a cell phone plan, are there cell phone plans that you could be, getting the service that you need, but not spending $200 a month anymore? Maybe drop it to 120. So you have to kind of attack your budget in the way that you spend money and in an intelligent fashion and kind of look at things and say, well, where's an opportunity for me to change things on the monthly budget so that you can save money? The second part of that is to look at your debts. Diana likes to talk about refinancing. Right now in the home mortgage market, this is a great time to refinance because interest rates are really low. However, interest rates are also low across the board on all types of financing opportunities. So if you went out and bought a car and you have good credit and you're paying like 7.5%, 8% on a car loan, you could refinance a car loan more than likely if it's a late model car and you don't owe more than it's worth. But the bottom line is when you sit down and you do a budget and you look at how you're spending money, and ask yourself, are there ways that I can accomplish this and spend less money? And lowering interest rate or lowering payments on plans that you can reduce, or even sometimes eliminating things altogether. Maybe you're paying for a newspaper subscription and all you ever do is throw it in the recycle bin. So if that's the kind of thing that you're spending money on, then that's the kind of thing you could be asking yourself, do I even need to be spending this money at all? Insurance reviews are also, this is a really good time to do insurance reviews. If you have insurance from, fill in the blank company, and you go to the office that only offers that insurance company, particularly on property and casualty, so we're talking your home and your auto policies, that'd be a good time. Now's a good time to go call an insurance broker that offers numerous lines of insurance and say, hey, this is the policy that I have now. What can you do for me? I literally just had my own mother shopped out 2 days ago, and the opportunity to save her $1,300 a year on her home and auto insurance. That's over $100 a month. If you're having a hard time, putting things together or your income is down, it's a good time to kind of look at some of those expenses and see what you can do to go ahead and reduce it. So definitely shop around on insurance. And I would say too that this is a good time. We have, through our cell phones and our computers, you have access to a lot of information out there. And it also gives you the ability to shop around a lot when you are making purchasing decisions. But I would just kind of like to point out to everybody, small businesses are dying on the vine right now. Small companies are normally community-based and privately owned, and those companies are hurting a lot right now. So I would say, as easy as it is to go on Amazon and hit click, think carefully about the purchases that you're making, and if you can support a local company and give your business to them, I strongly would encourage you to do so, because there are a lot of small business owners out there that are really hurting. They're your neighbors. They're the people that you know and you meet at the grocery store and that you're friends with. So let's try and give those small businesses the opportunity to keep your business and stay in business.
Right. Well, Jeffrey, you're right. I have some stats here that there were over at least 100,000 small businesses that have closed during COVID.
Yeah.
It's our COVID-19 case, confirmed cases. This is from Johns Hopkins of the COVID virus is 1,405,302, and that's in the United States. And the deaths have been 85,203, which last week it was 80,000 per Johns Hopkins.
Right.
The unemployment claims hit 36 million people are unemployed since the pandemic, and 3 million are filing for jobless claims. So
yeah, we're at 14% unemployment right now.
Yeah. So if somebody has, like I said, 401ks, savings, what should they do right now? I mean, if they're not getting unemployment benefits, like we talked about before the show started, about people that are on Social Security and things like that, how should people handle their money while we're in this pandemic?
Well, for one thing, discretionary spending needs to be stopped. You don't need new dresses. You don't need to be buying things. You don't. I mean, that the number one, it gets down to the bare essentials at that point when you're having trouble meeting, your ordinary bills. The federal government did put some protections in, and some states, like the state that I live in, which is the state of Oregon, put a moratorium on evictions.
Right.
The problem is what Diana alluded to, is that there are some people that are deciding that they don't have to pay their bills because of that, and it's absolutely not the case. The bill will come due one day.
That's right.
So it's meant to be relief for people who really absolutely need it.
Right.
But you need to be very careful about that, and like, if you're a renter and you have a landlord and you can't pay the rent, you need to notify the landlord and you need to work with the landlord. But we have to remember too, many landlords in America, granted there are corporate owned apartment buildings with 500 units, but there's a lot of duplexes and individually owned homes out there that are owned by private individuals like myself or like you, Leanne, that made their own investment, and many of those people have a mortgage to pay as well. So it's not going to do a renter any good if they don't pay the rent and then the landlord can't pay their mortgage, and then the house is repossessed and then you get kicked out.
That's right. Well, I manage properties in California, so I'm very fortunate that the tenants are paying. However, we don't know what it's going to look like down the road, but they are paying. Some have lost hours on their job. One person is working, the other is not, or less hours, but they are paying their rent. So you're right. We can't.
And there are a few rule restrictions that are lifted or loosened a little bit in terms of taking money out of retirement accounts that were part of the stimulus package that did pass. I don't have the specifics about that in front of me, but I would advise people to be very, very conservative and measured when it comes to taking money out of a retirement account, because most people who do have a 401k that's taxable money that you're taking out, they may be waiving the 10% penalty that you would normally pay. But at the same time, you're compromising your retirement security anytime you tap into those accounts. So I don't like people to look at them as a savings account that you just tap into anytime you want. There's also a few things for employer plans that do have loan options within the 401k. There's some loosening of some of the restrictions in those loan options as well. That is something that people can look at, but you really need to have an idea. If you do that, you have to have an idea as to what the future payback is going to be. If you're in a job where your company is still telling you your job's going to be here as soon as we can open up for business, that's a different situation than if you got laid off and your company literally went belly up, and you're going to have to go into this market and be competing for jobs with the other 14% of the population that don't have jobs right now.
Right.
I mean, if you put that in perspective, 14% is 1 out of every 8 people in America. So one out of every 8 people in America that was employed are right now on the rolls for unemployment. That's going to be it's going to be a hard thing for us to get the economy kickstarted, and that's why you have the difference that we have, quite frankly, in, I guess you can say, the red and blue states. The liberal versus the conservative states is the conservatives are a lot more concerned about getting people back to work and getting businesses open. And then you have other components of our political system, if you will, that are like, oh, we should all stay home and wear masks for the next 6 months and not go out of the house. And it's like, it's not a sustainable issue. And the federal government can't just keep writing checks, because everybody has to remember, we're just adding to the federal deficit. It's federal government debt that has to be paid back one day.
Right.
And it's the American people that are going to have to pay it back.
That's true. But I think we'll have to worry about that later, because we got people that need to eat. We have people that, are in need. We got to do something. So if they got to, send out some more money, do whatever they got to do, because we're in unprecedented times right now. So
there's no playbook for what's going on right now at all.
Right. So we have to make sure we don't want any bad things to happen when people are not having a job, having money. We don't want to go there. So they're gonna have to work something out. Well,
so
Jeff, go ahead.
I was going to say, each state is opening up right now, and we'll be back to thing. But I can tell you, when you talk to people in different industries, there's so much pent up demand right now. It's not even crazy. There's so many people that want to be in a bar, want to be in a restaurant, want to go out and be able to buy a new car. That if we can get the economy started, I think it's going to roar back very rapidly. But it's of course going to depend on what's going on with the virus, and everybody has to take precautions. You have to protect yourself, and if that means wearing a mask, then wear a mask. I would rather be working and wearing a mask than staying at home and not working and not wearing a mask.
And I guess most Americans will. That's probably 50-50. It just depends on where you're working and what the situation is. I mean, because we have a virus, and it's a deadly virus. So, that's kind of 50-50 kind of situation. But that's a discussion that we should continue. So if anybody has any questions for Jeffrey, please put your comments in the section below. Don't forget to like, share, and when this goes on replay, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. So Jeff, thank you. We want to have you back again so we can talk about this some more, because we got
absolutely. It's an interesting time to be talking about money.
That's right. That's right. And thank you very much. And we will talk about this in a future show. So thank you. All right. All right, everybody. Can you stay tuned? We got a quick service announcement. I thought we had a quick service announcement. Oh, guess not. Well, I guess not. That was supposed to be the Census Bureau's 2020.gov. So they're asking if those of you who have not sent your census paperwork in to please do so. Be counted. So that's 2020census.gov. All right. So again, if you've just joined us, this is Kitchen Talk. I'm your host, Leanne Moore. And again, this is an interactive show. If you have any comments so far regarding the show, if you have questions for Jeff, Diana, please do put your comments below. I want to just briefly talk about what we were talking about with Jeff. he did mention about the small businesses. Like I read before, it's over 100,000 businesses that have closed. We do have to change our mindset on how we're doing business in addition to how we're living. So if you have a small business out there, you might want to think about going internet, get your website up. Get a business coach if you need to do so. I'm planning on having a business coach on the show to talk to us about how we should do our business from now on, because the business 6 months ago is not the same business anymore. So, think about making sure if you're not on Facebook, if you're watching me, thank you very much. If you're watching through someone else's Facebook page, I was not a fan of Facebook at the beginning. But as you can see, I'm in real estate, two states, you guys, 24 years in California, 14 years in Vegas, and I started my own talk show. What does that tell you? I want to share some valuable information to everyone. This show might not be for you. Next week, it might. Next week, we're trying to get our probate attorneys on because living trust is important. I'm going to have yoga. We're going to have a lot of different things in our show that hopefully will cheer you up and inspire you some way. But if you do not have a Facebook page or a website, don't have a business name, use this downtime so you can work on getting your business on the floor. Like Jeffrey says, we got Amazon. Where are you? Where are you, small business? I want you on the show. I'm going to have a holiday show coming up. I want all the small businesses that are ready to get online, have e-commerce, Square, or whatever, PayPal, so you can present your business to the world, because selling online is where it's going to be. Okay? So remember that. If you have any questions for any of us, please reach out to us, and we'll definitely reach back to you. Again, this is Leanne Moore. Welcome to Kitchen Talk. My next wonderful guest is a very good friend. I won't say how long he's known me, longer, I guess, but but I have the pastor of Bethel AME Church of Perris, California, Reverend Kenny Baker, and he's a wonderful friend. Hi, Pastor. How are you? Got to unmute. I'm sorry. How are you, Pastor?
Good morning and bless you. It's good to be with you today.
Thank you. And he's with the Bethel AME Church of Perris, California, and a true friend. When I wanted to do this show, I'm kind of getting a little touchy because what's all this is going on with COVID, and we all here we have lives. We had lives before COVID. Diana, Jeffrey. I mean, we were out there pounding the streets, getting people homes, and having seminars. And COVID has taken so many of our friends, families, people we don't know, and we're protecting our loved ones that we have in our home today. And but we have to continue to function, and that's why I'm saying, don't give up, everybody out there. We're all in this together. If you need something, reach out, and we'll get through this. But I thought of, who can I get to give us a good message to inspire us, that we can go on and know that we can go on. And not only did I know the right person, I called him and he accepted. So, Reverend Baker, how are you doing, COVID, sir?
Blessed, man, blessed. And I pray that all things are going well with you and yours.
Yes.
I want to say especially good morning, Leanne, and thank you for welcoming me into the Kitchen Talk today.
Thank you.
Throughout my childhood until now, what made a house a home all happened in the kitchen.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
On that note,
that's right.
There's no better place to be than the kitchen.
That's right. That's right. That is right. So I want to give you my condolences again.
Amen.
Put your name up there. There you go. Give you my condolences on the loss of your father. And it's more difficult to lose someone special and to have to lose them through during this time in COVID. He didn't pass the COVID, but during this time.
Right. Yeah. And actually, my dad did pass from COVID.
Oh, Kenny, I did.
No, he did. He passed from COVID. This was a season that my family has gone through, and it is an American story that is still being told.
Wow.
The challenge of what we're facing today really is based upon me having this opportunity to share, even on this platform. Your prior presenters really are talking to the breadth that is our economy.
Okay.
The breadth that is what supplies our needs for individual homes to survive, right? The reality of where we are in this season is really based upon how people address their pains and their griefs.
Yes.
And mine are really a story that's told basically through the eyes and hearts and hands and arms and embraces of friends, family, and loved ones. I cannot see how people can survive through this without having good family, good friends, and good loved ones. People that they can appreciate as well as people that appreciate them. So throughout this time, I have been extremely blessed, and I am truly grateful for just this opportunity. If this is my time to kind of go into an encouraging perspective, I'm going to go forward with that at this point. Because it's based upon our current state of affairs of COVID-19 in general, that I refer to this season as a pandemic to pandemonium, because there's a noise that rises from disoriented people who can no longer define themselves by their rules and routines. There's a noise that arises from discontented people who have come face to face with life that does not satisfy them sufficiently. There's a noise that arises from disagreeable people who have no desire to accept reasonable terms of living, or even much less practical ones. I would like to share and uplift one aspect of this season that I pray uplifts you. From the Christian perspective, this past and present Easter season occurred under some rather precarious conditions. And in reflection, I would like to set the scene at the empty tomb, where there is an increasing noise of discontented, disoriented, and disagreeable people. Simply put, there was pandemonium, a lot of noise after the loss of Jesus's body. I'm going to abbreviate this, but I don't want to abbreviate it too much. The pandemonium, that noise, came in the form of tremendous questions, eyewitnesses who testified to his appearance, prophecies that supported the event, arguments between people who started to believe and those who refused to believe that he rose again. Because of these things that he said, because of the things that he did, because of the things that happened before, and while he was hanging on the cross, because of the thunder, because of the darkness in the middle of the day, because of tearing of the veil between the Holy of Holies and the sanctuary, because people were discontented and disoriented, they became more disagreeable. As a means of appeal, the elders had a saying: we can disagree without being disagreeable. And that was something that was canned recently, well, not so recently, within the past few decades. It's a phrase that I became much more familiar with. We can disagree and live together instead of acting like we can't live together at all. The turmoil happened between religious people who are now starting to talk, whether it's in disagreeable terms or not. Healed people, people who were restored versus people who are still getting sick. Poor and rich people are talking. Jews, Gentiles, freedmen, and slaves are all talking. And the only thing that brought the noise down for believers in this particular season where Christ was in the scene at the tomb was the word of God becoming realer. I know I'm supposed to be intelligent about this, but realer was the only word I can really come up with, because that's what ended up happening. Jesus Christ became real to some people, more relevant. And he produced an unimaginable, if you will, revelation. And Jesus literally showed up and showed out. And based on time restrictions, I would like to share only one aspect of that revelation: peace. Peace. A peace personified by God, a peace perpetuated by God, and a peace that prevails by the power of God. Peace, to be personified, is when God appears and God presents himself. The word reveals itself, and that peace gets deposited within us. His appearing and his presence alone is enough to claim victory over death and the grave. So when he comes into our presence, it's on the basis of peace be unto you. So in that context, we still have to recognize that when God comes into your presence, if you're ever in this experience for yourself, you're going to always sense his peace. He brought peace to address the discontent and the uncertainty. And he became peace in the midst of their storm. Peace to be perpetuated. God breathes peace, and peace secures the atmosphere. God appears and speaks peace, which also surrounds us. His speaking and his breathing alone is enough to change the atmosphere to reflect peaceful conditions. Peace be still is a phrase, a common command that we are familiar with when God calmed the storm and he calmed the waters that were responding to the storm. Peace be still. Also in Psalms chapter 46, verse 10, he says, be still and know that I am God. He reestablished relations to address the disoriented concerning death. He has wonder-working power. The last thing, the third element, is peace that is predominant. God elevates peace in the community and among the nations of people according to his will. A prevailing peace reflects God's will and authority over everything and anything. He challenged doubters and deniers to believe because of what they had witnessed, but specifically blessed those who would not ever be able to see his resurrected body to still have and experience this peace. Peace I give unto you when Jesus appears and is personified within you. Peace be still when Jesus speaks and is perpetuated around you. We should not be disoriented by the command, go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. We literally are given peace within. We have that peace that surrounds us. And the only question that still stands is, does God's prevailing peace prevail if we stay home? Before Jesus declared peace, brothers and sisters, his disciples were in a room behind a locked door in fear of what was happening outside the room. Catch the hint. There were no barriers that could keep Jesus from prevailing peace, even when we are on lockdown. So there's no reason why we would have to try to challenge everything that comes before us with regards to the discipline that needs to be shown in society. 2 last paragraphs and I'm done so that we can pull this together. We are going to have to pray, and God is going to have to speak peace to the waves and the winds of this pandemic. We will have to walk in the power and privilege of sharing the peace of God that gives us with God gives us with others in whatever way it avails itself. We have to encourage, enlighten, and empower one another to look beyond and press towards the mark of his higher calling, regardless of the barriers placed in this season. We have to believe again that we are the salt and the light that can show the way in the midst of it all. We can't lose sight that God is love and we represent him in all circumstances and at every stage of life. That this season is yet another challenge for us to share our purpose in a different way. So let that peace that surpasses all understanding keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Be at peace, my brothers and sisters. Peace be unto you. Peace be unto yours. Thank God for you and all that you can do to be helpful to others. God bless you and God be with you. I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Get my mute here.
There you are.
Is that good? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Reverend Kenny, for that message. We needed that. Everybody needed that. Yes.
Thank you,
And
sister.
I really appreciate that. And God bless you and your family and what you are experiencing.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well,
we're all in this together,
that's
no matter
right.
how we
And I know
back
that's
away from.
and I say that I know that's cliche, but it's
Yeah.
true. We are all in this together. We are.
Yeah.
We really are.
Whether we acknowledge it or not.
That's right. That's right. And Kenny, your church does a food bank.
Yes.
Food distribution. What days?
Actually, we've been once a month, and I think we're going to stay once a month for now.
What day is that?
The first Saturday of the month.
First Saturday?
The first Saturday of the month. Okay. And I'll get that confirmed. Okay. But the challenge that we have is that we've been asked to increase that service. And under these conditions, I think we're going to maintain where we are, but we may actually be called to increase it sooner. I don't know how ready we are to do the increase. Okay. We've been talking about it and planning for it, but
that first Saturday is great. And the first day of me, Pasadena, California. We do our food bank every Friday between 9 and 11.
Oh, awesome.
9 and 11. So, we're all in need sometimes. So those churches and other organizations, if you do know any other, if you do know any other organizations that are offering food distributions in your neighborhood, please be sure to put them in the comment section below. So, everyone can take advantage of that. Okay, thank you very much. We're almost winding down the show, but I promised that I was going to give you the first tip, which will be revealed on how to get my credit straight. Now, that's a very important subject right now at this downtime. I know there's a lot of people that want to purchase a car, a home. Believe it or not, they even look at your credit when you apply for a job. So we need to prepare ourselves right now during this COVID downtime and get our mind off of all this at times. So if you are in need of the 5 steps, I will be giving those steps away online each Thursday. So the first one will be to get your credit report is you go to annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com. I believe it was President Bush had signed into law. Now the federal government requires that each National Credit Bureau, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion is to give each person every 12 months the 3 credit reports. Okay. So every year you have to apply. They're not going to just mail it to you. You have to go to Annual Credit Report and log on. Take your time and do that. Do not hit the browser key back, because once you do that, you've lost your first year. Take your time and apply. You can actually get them online, and you can request to have them mailed to you. If you do this today, you should get them before the next Kitchen Talk show, which is next Thursday at 10 a.m. And you'll have time to look at it and hopefully be able to get more familiar to what's going on in your credit report. This is very important. I'm going to have Diana Dykes come back on the screen so she can, let's see if I can get her back up. Hi, Reverend Kenny. All right. So tell everyone what.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Leanne?
Yes.
You can hear me? Okay. FICO score is tied to everything. It's almost like your blood count. It's almost like what your blood count is. Are you A, negative? Or do you have a 500? Do you have a 620? Credit is everything. Don't fall back. We were already getting behind in America with low FICO scores. If you make bills, student loans are important. Call your student loan. Even when student loans are in forbearance, a lot of people don't know when they go to buy a home, it shows late. even
Right.
when their student loans are just, in forbearance. Don't make that mistake. Get your free creditreport.com or Credit Karma. Do what Leanne says. Leanne is an educator also, and I love that. I love this show. This is really good information, and it's good information to all of us. Leanne, 10 years ago when the mortgage crisis hit, my FICO dropped from 700 to 510. I'm now 750. Instead of gossiping about family, I get my children, I get my husband, we all get on there and talk about, hey, what's your FICO score? How can I help get you? When you go to get a job, they're going to pull up your FICO score. You might be more qualified, but that other person that has a higher FICO is going to get the job. They just feel that you're responsible. If you're responsible on budgeting, like Jeffrey says, if you're responsible on paying your bills, like Jeffrey says, get it. A lot of people were getting stimulus checks and going out and buying the new Air Jordans. Come on now. Come on. We won't talk about how we like to shop, huh? Yeah, that'll be another show. Okay, that'll be another budget show. However, budget, keep that money in the bank. Come on, you guys. This isn't the time to go out and buy things. Yes, the economy needs to be stimulated. Those stimulated checks, that means go out and buy groceries. That means go out and buy essentials that you need. I went shopping in my own closet. I cleaning up things. I'm up at 4-3 in the morning. I like that. I like my mind works. Get yourself together. This is not. A lot of us have lost family. We've lost family to COVID. I've had family members get sick. I've cried, I've laughed, I've eaten, I've never cooked and cleaned so much in my life. I'm positive. I'm walking every morning with my husband, 4 miles. We're on the track. My children, are grown. I got a little grandson. But, make it good. Make it positive. FICO score is everything. It is like what your blood type is. And it's very, very important. When you go to get insurance, car insurance, they want to know what your FICO score is. And now the lenders and they have that right. The minimum FICO is 640. It was 580. It'll come back.
I had that question. Someone asked, what was the lowest score that is worthy? So if you're at the lowest score, check with us every week so you can get these tips to improve your credit.
How to improve it. Yes. Here's a tip how to improve it. If you have 3 credit cards and you're maxing out your credit cards, that brings your FICO score down. Don't pay them off because, no credit is almost as worse as bad credit. Keep your minimum. So say that you had a credit card for $500. Keep it at a balance of 150. It'll make your points go up by 30 points.
Yeah, they said 30%. Is you can't go over 30%.
Correct.
Back to what you were talking about regarding the stimulus payments. Like you said, that's for essential things, your rent, your food, things like that. We don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. So don't have to pay all your credit cards off. Pay the minimum,
Minimum.
Don't try to pay all that off right now. Pay the minimum and make sure you pay the minimum. Or, if you can pay a little more, but don't try to pay them off because you're going to need that money to survive until whatever, whatever's going to happen, So that's the first tip, you guys. And I'll see if we have any questions. Someone says, amen. And then this is for Jeffrey. Ide said, great information, Jeff. Yeah, and we had another comment from Griselle. Thank you for the info. And we had several other comments. But so I want to thank the guests. And thank you, Diana. Thank you very much. I want to thank the guests for coming on to the show today. Please tell a friend, like this show, share this show. And I love live videos, but when it goes to replay, I want you to subscribe and ring the bell so we can notify you of our upcoming shows. Again, we're going to have exciting guests to come on. This is valuable information. People go to seminars to get this information. That's right. That's right. And I'm giving the information away free. Again, if you have questions, hit the comment section, put them down. We'll have them prior to the next show. And, if you have a small business, remember to reach out to me. I would love to have you on the show and we can, get your business going or guide you in the right direction to get your business online. And, just hang in there, everybody. We're in this together. Like Reverend Baker said, we're maybe some people are better levels than others, and if you need help, ask somebody, reach out, reach out to somebody if you need to talk. And that's another thing. Pick 2, 3 people that you have not called. Pick up the phone, call them. Say hello. I saw on a friend's Facebook page said family, check on your family, meaning your friends, your family, because people are going through it sitting at home. They don't see an end to this. But it makes a difference when you call. If you happen to have to go out to the store, call somebody. Ask them, do they need anything? And that'll make you feel better as well. So again, our show is going to be every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I really enjoy the guests. I love to have you guys back again. And this was the very first show of Kitchen Talk. And I really appreciate you all tuning in. Let your friends know, let your family know that we're going to have a great show. So don't get caught sleeping on this because this is valuable information that I know you all will want to see. So as I end this show today, we've had some interesting and sad events that have occurred. We've lost our brother, Aubrey, Ahmaud Aubrey, that was fatally shot in Atlanta or the south of in the city of Georgia. I'm sorry, the state of Georgia. And our prayers go out to his mother, who celebrated Mother's Day, this last Mother's Day, without him. I wanted to have his picture up, but technical difficulties, I was not able to do that. And I also want to dedicate this show to a very dear friend, Ron Merritt. Ron has a loving wife, daughter, son, and granddaughter that he leaves behind. He was a wonderful friend, and I dedicate the show to the both of them. So until next time on Kitchen Talk, I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.